Okay. All right, Susan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just. Thank you for this message. There you go. It was a very good message, and very, of course, timely for the season we're in. And I believe everything that you were saying about how the Jewish people, how they're not going to be able to hear from somebody who's a Christian way up saying, this is what you got to change and this is what you have to believe and this, get rid of everything you're thinking because this is the right way, and how it needs to almost kind of just get integrated in. And and you do seem to be the perfect person to do this, being that your heritage is Judaism, and you were born a Jew, and then you were able to change. I can see that any question, not any question, or the aggressiveness that they would come on somebody else may be different for someone like you, and with your background, your heritage, just very interesting, and how it has to how the Lord is moving and how everything it has to happen, and if this is the pathway that it's going to happen, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be very, very, very interesting.
They're not going to give up their authority to a young upstart. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And you can sort of see their point.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Very true. I'm trying to think some of the high points of the things that jumped out at me. Talking about the priesthood and who the high priest is. I thought was excellent exhortation with Aaron and then Moses, and then defining who the high priest is and then who has authority, and how Kavod really is the high priest. But yet now that has changed to all everything in the Lord Jesus Christ, which you've been teaching all along, that everything is in the Lord Jesus Christ. So I thought that was a great exhortation and teaching that you did. And then also with Hagar and Ishmael, and how the crying out to the Lord, saying that I am the firstborn. What about me? Just very interesting. The spiritual depth to that, I thought was awesome. Then going into session 2, which is kind of a lighter message, but still very powerful with explaining subjectivism to objectivism, and then relating it to this author and her life, and how in her own power trying to create this mindset, and you can't do it. It's this world, the placeholder angel in this world is just too powerful if you don't have anything to combat it, and thinking you do have the means to combat it. It's an illusion. You don't. It's an illusion. So it was an awesome second session, and how it was all integrated into the first session too. Thank you very much. It's very good.
Really great message. You really kind of hit the ground running as soon as you came in. I had a hard time keeping up with the notes. Trying to catch everything. A few things about the first session. Understanding of the high priest, like Susan said, I thought was very interesting. And then when you were talking about the tribes, that there's actually 13 tribes, and talking about Dan, and then going into Hagar, and I thought that was very interesting exhortation. And then also when we were talking about the temptation of Jesus with the kingdoms of the world, I thought that was a very interesting way of looking at it. Possession is 9/10 of the law. It's just
He's got us.
Yeah. And then the second session about Aaron, I thought was very fascinating because I have read a couple of her books. I haven't read The Fountainhead, not yet. I would like to read it. I've read Atlas Shrugged and The Anthem, and I think what was interesting about what you pointed out is like, it's such a denial of who we are in that political sphere is equally as dangerous, and that what they do in the church is they also, denying sin, they deny who we are, and it just leads to spiritual doctrine that's destructive. So I thought that was interesting. And then I remember when I was about her philosophy, which I know is used primarily on the right. She's a big proponent of conservative thought process, which is interesting because politically, yes, she has a lot of really interesting political views that are conservative, but morally, she's completely the opposite of the conservative Christians of the country today. And even in that book, I think I'd come to the conclusion that what she was advocating for actually would circle back to communism because it would naturally take that route if you completely ignore God, which ends up routing you to communism. So even if she has good political thoughts that the right uses, if you continue with it, it'll just go right back to communism. That's not it. She just glorifies man, which is what you said. So I just thought, I didn't know that story about the first students and how she went crazy. I've never heard that before, so that was fascinating. It was a really good second session, and how it wove right into what's happening today, and you're asking about the content and local pastor and everything like that. It just wove in really well. So thank you for the message.
21 years ago again.
Deli wrote in, thank you, Pastor, for the message and your testimony. I was blessed. And then we had Rita on the phone, but she left just a few minutes ago. Okay, that seems to be it.
Okay, God bless you, brother. Oh, a minute. Okay.